Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of the Computer Club's monthly presentations. If you can please silence your cell phones. We hold these meetings in Trendle. We're open to all members of the community the second Thursday of each month, as you know, since you're here now. And we will be open at the lab after this meeting is over. As always, our agenda is to show you a quick financial report at the beginning of the meeting. Then we go on and talk about membership, computer club matters, the classes that we schedule in the computer lab, community matters, what's going on in Sun City, and then we go on to our feature presentation. And today's feature presentation is going to be on home automation, how you can make your home smarter. Okay, going on to the treasurer's report. We have reserve funds. We collect dues, and over the years we use the dues to maintain equipment, but every several years we do have to replace equipment. So we do have a large reserve that we allow for upgrading our new equipment. We have just purchased a new iMac, which we have in the, it's an iMac M3 that's now in the lab. At the end of this year, Windows 12 is expected to be coming out, and we'll be replacing the PCs, at least the 16 main PCs that are in the lab will be replaced at the end of this year and 2024 and into 2025. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see that we have in 2023 donated over $1,000 to the Grafton Food Pantry. The money that you put in that jar that's in the back by the donuts goes to the Grafton Food Pantry. So please consider when you pick up a donut and coffee to deposit some change into the jar. So yeah, our treasurer's report shows that we're in pretty good shape. And we do have, they say, have our reserve fund, and we're looking quite good.
You may wish to announce we've got a new treasurer.
And yeah, I do want to note that we have a new treasurer this month. Came on board last month. Doug Nagel is our new treasurer, and want to thank him for getting out our financial report. We have to, as you may know, that all the clubs have to report their finances at the end of the year to CAM, and he was on very short notice to get this done, but we did get this done, and he did a spectacular job on that. So thank you, Doug. And I want to acknowledge everybody in the computer club that helps out. In fact, whoever is in the computer club, our lab techs, our board members, if you want to stand, and we'll acknowledge your contributions to the club as well. And the committee helping out in the back with the donuts and coffee as well. Our membership is now standing at 1,584, and if you paid your $25, you know that the dues after that are only $5 a year, payable if you pay your dues in a 3-year increment. So if you pay in May or June prior to June 30th, you'll be paying $15 for 3 years. If you've already paid your $15 in last year or the year before, then you don't have to pay anything. You're good now for however long your membership expires. If you're not sure when it expires, all you have to do is come into the lab, scan your card, and it'll show you exactly when your membership expires. So, wanted to note that we can always use more lab techs. Any and all skills are needed. You don't have to be a computer whiz. We need people to help out in the lab. We do digitizing of slides and photos, VHS tapes and the like, and we need people to help out with that. So whatever skills you have are welcome. If you'd like to join us. We also need more board members. So some of us have been in our positions for several years. So we can always use some new blood, some new people coming in. If you're new to Sun City, this might be a good opportunity for you to get to know the club and all, to get in on the ground floor. So you can become a team member on our computer club's board, perform rewarding activities, and make new friends. So if you're interested in any of the work we do in the lab, just come up after the meeting or come over to the lab. We have a couple of subgroups of the computer club. We have an Apple users group meeting on the first Tuesday of the month at 9 a.m. And we have a photography group that meets on the first Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock in the lab. Photography group's on winter recess right now, but we are doing a shoot. So people are shooting what we're calling 4x5, which is 5 pictures of 4 objects in various views, and then in our March meeting we'll be reviewing that. The computer lab is open on Mondays and Thursdays in the morning, 9 to 12, and the lab will be open after this meeting for an hour or whatever time we have left. And as I say, we're always looking for new monitors, so if we can get more monitors, we can have more days that we're open, but right now we're limited to the 2 days a week. We have a full complement of classes in the computer lab. So if you're a member of the computer club, then the classes are free for you. You can come in and anytime, you don't even have to register in advance, just show up. We have a class on Android smartphone, which will be on Monday. We have a class on cutting the cord. I'll be doing that class next Thursday. We have a class on using YouTube for streaming, and Android smartphone, and Apple iPhone. And these are just some of the classes for the next couple of weeks. We've got more that'll be scheduled for February and March.
With Windows 11.
And, yeah.
Windows 11 next month.
Yeah. And since this meeting is open to all members of Sun City, we'd like to talk about activities in Sun City itself. Tonight there's a Roy Orbison tribute concert. We were playing a Roy Orbison song a little bit ago, so if you're a Roy Orbison fan, you can come tonight. There's an Elvis concert on January 25th at 7 o'clock. There's a Dolly Parton tribute concert on February 8th at 7 o'clock. And the annual meeting of Sun City is held in Drendel, and that'll be on January 24th at 1 o'clock right here. So always check your lifestyles and re-blast for all the activities going on. So we're going to be talking about smart home today, home automation. And if you're interested in what you see, if you want to hang around for a few minutes afterwards, so we can, have a little short discussions, or if you want to talk about anything else, we started doing these breakout sessions. So feel free to use this room. We have the room for the morning. So if you want to just have a little computer cafe, you can grab a coffee or a donut and chat about anything you like. And, as I said, we're going to be talking today about smart home automation, and this will be presented by Ken Zawinski, and then I'm going to follow up with talking about some of the new smart home items that are available. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ken, who will talk about the smart home.
Let me try this microphone and see how we do. Everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Been a while since I've used this thing.
Right, but
Yeah. Okay, home automation. I've done this presentation before, and it's not all that long ago. But I didn't get the response that I thought I would get. I thought I'd have people coming in the lab asking questions and wanting to do more, and it didn't happen. So hopefully I'll get some people more interested and get some questions and be able to help people with getting into home automation. It's really nice once you get started with it. Home automation continues to develop as new technologies emerge. The newest one is something called Matter. While Matter seems good in concept, it still needs further development. And I've watched a number of YouTube videos and people that have been trying to use Matter, and it's not there yet. Well, I think I have something that talks a little bit more about it. It's the newest open source communication standard for home automation. It originated in December of 2019, so it's been around a while. It was founded by Amazon, Apple, Google, and the Zigbee Alliance, now called the Connectivity Standards Alliance. The initial version was published in October 2022. In 2023, version 1.2 came out, and what that did was it expanded. It really wasn't much improvement other than it incorporated more devices. And devices that it's incorporating into the home automation is air conditioners, air purifiers, air quality sensors, dishwashers, fans, refrigerators, just a whole list of things there. So they brought in 19 new compatible device types. The list also includes door locks, gateways, lighting, motion blinds, things that already exist, occupancy sensors, smart plugs. So they're still growing and being able to incorporate more of the devices that are already on the market. One problem I found with Matter is that while it allows devices to communicate, it doesn't always allow. Now this, I thought I was going to be following Shelley, so I thought I would have had some introduction to some of the devices and things, but there's devices that we use in home automation, like I have a little temperature sensor. It's just a little tiny thing, but it's a temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure. Now, and I can check all those things through some of my home automation stuff. But if I do it through like Alexa or Matter, it can only tell me the temperature. If I ask Alexa, what's the humidity? It's on the bottom there. It says, she'll say that's not supported yet. So there's even things in the existing stuff that's not fully supported. So that's what I'm referring to when all the functions aren't yet supported in Matter. When they get them all supported, that'll be much more usable. And this will make more sense when we get to some of the other things. Other systems can be used instead of Matter, but they can also be Matter compatible. Some of the systems that are out there, Amazon Echo, Google Home, Apple HomeKit, Samsung SmartThings, things that you've probably heard about in some of the commercials on TV. And those can control most devices. You can go to Walmart and you can buy these random devices. You go to Walmart, you go to Menards. They all have home automation devices. But each of those devices, well, not each of them, but many of them require their own app. So now the picture on the right there, that's a picture of all the apps that I have on my phone just for automation. And the problem becomes that, okay, I want to turn on that light. Okay, which app is that light controlled by? So you go into one, no, it's not that one, you go into another, no, it's not that one. Then eventually you'll find the one. So the thing that you need is something to tie all that together. This makes it very confusing when you try and operate it like this. It was confusing for me, so I'm sure it's confusing for a lot of people. And it was 2 pages on my phone, so look at the little add-on for my car and Tile. Tile is those little locator things that you can put in your luggage. But software updates, and these manufacturers do come out with updates to their devices, those still need to be done through their app. So you still need to have these apps on your phone. Now, you can begin with a hub, something, the main controller, something like the Amazon Echo. I use the Echo. I think I have about 5 or 6 of them around my house. Google Smart Home, Samsung SmartThings, Apple HomeKit. But once you choose one of those, you pretty much should try and stick to that because you don't want a lot of different systems. I have a Google Smart Home in my den that I rarely ever use. I just use the Amazon Echo for everything. And if you're going to get something, it should be, you should try and make it something that's compatible with Matter. Because Matter supposedly is the future. That's yet to be seen if that's going to really take over or not. And then compatible system logos on the bottom there, that's the side of a box. The different systems, like it says, works with OK Google, works with Alexa, works with Apple HomeKit, works with IFTTT, which is a website where you can go to make different automation things. IFTTT is if this, then that. It's ways of setting up, and I'll show you an example of a routine, how to set up things to turn on lights and other functions. Zigbee is what I think is the current version, the current thing that I would use, that I'm using instead before Matter. Although my Zigbee devices are Matter compatible as well. Now, on the right, that's some of my devices, and let's see, I have my Ring doorbell. That's an Amazon product. The sink, the light over my kitchen sink, that's a product from a company called Insteon. The shower light is an Insteon. The table lamp says unresponsive. That's unresponsive because I unscrewed the bulb. Let's see, the floor lamp, that's also an in-stand. And some of these are just plug-in devices. And I had a bag of stuff that took some of my automation stuff apart at home. I got a lot of extra pieces too. And I left that bag on my dining room table. But there are the plug-in devices, like the table lamp. Well, the table lamp is, I have a different bulb in there now. It's a color light bulb. You can tell it to play, turn it on, you can turn it on at 50%, you can turn it on red, blue, orange, green, whatever color you want. Now, I thought, well, I'll never use the colors, but then I thought, well, I can use the colors for different things, like if I left the door open someplace or a window open someplace, and I tell Alexa, good night, that triggers some things. It turns on the light in the bathroom so I can have light to walk in there. But it could also check to see if there's anything open and maybe turn on that floor lamp red. So you can use the different colors for different functions. It's really cool. That's getting pretty far into it. But all these different, and then there I have, let's see, I have 100 different devices in my house. I sat there and counted between door sensors, window sensors, temperature sensors. I can tell you the temperature in my garage, in my sunroom, in the basement.
Mailbox.
Well, I do have a mailbox alert that's currently not tied into this whole automation system, but when the mail person comes and opens the door, there's a tilt switch on the mailbox door that sends a signal to a device in the house that beeps, so I know when the mail comes. And then if I didn't hear it, there's a little blue light that's flashing after that. So, which is nice, because sometimes you miss hearing the truck go by, and especially wintertime, you don't want to be walking out there all the time checking for mail, so I know when the mail comes, so I won't go out there once. So yeah, so I have a lot more devices than what shows up there. Add devices to the hub. I think this was a slide I was supposed to delete. It's the same graphic. Once you have devices, you can create routines. Now, two of the routines that I have are evening lights on. That's something you would normally want to do. You want lights to go on in the evening. So, and this is in Alexa. So, to do this, you need an Amazon Echo, an Alexa device, and a couple of smart devices to control the different lights that you want to turn on. So now I said, okay, 10 minutes before sunset. So it's not even quite dark yet, but it's getting dark. It's time to turn the lights on. And you can say 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you want, before or after sunset. And you can add other tests or events to that. So 10 minutes before sunset, Alexa will power on, the kitchen lights power on, the floor lamp power on, set brightness at 50%, so it's just going to be a dim light in the living room. It's not going to be real bright. The dresser lamp in the master bedroom, we'll power that on at 50%. And the shower light, the light over the shower, that goes on, it's a 40-watt bulb, then it comes on at 100%. So that automatically happens every day. I don't have to tell it, I don't have to do anything, it just happens. And it's nice. And then for Christmas, I set up another, I come up with all these crazy ideas for things. Merry Christmas lights on, I called it. And what that does is I'll say, Alexa, Merry Christmas. And what Alexa does, and you can see, you say, Alexa, Merry Christmas. And then Alexa will, Christmas, power on. Now, Christmas is a group that was set up. I have a few different Christmas devices. There's the main Christmas tree. There's a 5-foot Christmas tree in the foyer. and there's lights outside on the bushes. So I grouped all those together and I called it Christmas. So if I say turn on Christmas, it'll turn all of that on. I can say turn on Christmas inside, it'll just turn on the big tree and the little tree. I can say turn on Christmas outside, and it just turns on the outside. Or I can just say turn on the Christmas tree, turn on the small tree, turn on outside. So I can do them individually or in different groups that I set up. Anyway, this one, so I say Alexa Merry Christmas, it's going to turn on Christmas, which is all of it. And set the volume on the echo to volume 4, so it's not real loud. And then it's going to play Christmas music. And I didn't tell it what kind of Christmas music, it just starts playing Christmas music. I didn't give it Christmas music, it just has Christmas music, and it plays Christmas music. And it'll just play until you tell it to stop. And the lights will stay on, and there's nothing that automatically, yeah, those lights will go off automatically at whatever. I have a time of day when everything goes off. So, but these routines are not hard to set up. They make it easy to do. It's just a matter of going through it one time. And this is something that if people want to get into this, come to the lab, and I can help you with this stuff. And once you do it once or twice, it's pretty easy. Uses for the voice assistant, which is the Apple. Apple has their HomeKit voice device, Amazon Alexa, the Google Smart Home. You call it Hey Google or OK Google. Anyway, what can you do with something like that if it's not turning on lights and controlling things? You can have it tell you the time or the weather. Say, Alexa, what's the weather? It tells you the current temperature. It tells you what the weather forecast is. It's nice. Set timers. I've even got my wife doing this. She would always be at the microwave setting a timer, and
Your batteries go.
I think the batteries are dying. Yeah. Now, if she's working in the kitchen and her hands are dirty or something, she doesn't want to be punching the microwave. But she just says, Alexa, set an oven timer for 15 minutes. And Alexa will say, oven timer 15 minutes starting now. And it's counting down. And now there's no display or anything, so how much time is left? You say, Alexa, how much time is left on the oven timer? And it'll tell you 12 minutes and 37 seconds. So it's nice to use it for something like that. And you can set multiple timers. So you can set an oven timer, you can set whatever name you tell it, it'll remember that, and that's what you call it. An oven timer, an egg timer, whatever you want to call it. You can tell it, you're on the bed, but you want a light on. You tell Alexa, turn on the sink light for 5 minutes. And it'll turn the light on. And then you walk through into the bedroom, and 5 minutes after you turn it on, the light goes off. Set alarm. If you're, a lot of times I'll get involved in what I'm doing, and I'll forget to watch the clock. And so I'll say, Alexa, set an alarm for 7:45 a.m. And 7:45 a.m., she's making noises. Set reminders. If there's a TV show you want to make sure you watch, you can tell it to set a reminder for a certain time. You can give it a name like you did with the timers. Weather and traffic info. Like I said, you can get the weather, and I haven't really used the traffic info, but I know if you have a route you travel every day, it'll tell you what the traffic is like going to work. Most of us don't have to do that anymore. Play music, you can tell Alexa, play holiday music, or play jazz, and it'll play it. Find your phone. Now, sometimes I use this. I forget where I left my phone. And say, Alexa, find my phone. Then all of a sudden, my phone is ringing somewhere in the house, and I find it. And you also use it to control smart home devices. Once those devices, once Alexa has discovered those devices, like I replaced the wall switch that controls the light over my kitchen sink. And so I can say, Alexa, turn on the kitchen sink. Oh, the light goes on. And so, and if the light switch is a dimmable switch, you can say, Alexa, turn on the kitchen sink at 50%. It just dims it down to 50%, just so you have a little light. Read the news. I don't use this because it goes on and on and on. You can tell Alexa stop, and it usually does. Sports scores and schedules. Now, it's usually not good news, but a lot of times I'll Alexa, what's the score of the Bears game? And I get the bad news. Shopping lists, Alexa, add toilet paper to the shopping list. And then you have the Alexa app on your phone. So when you get to the grocery store, you can pull up your shopping list, and there's everything you told Alexa to add to the shopping list. Check your calendar. I've disabled that, but I had my calendar tied into it, so every morning it would announce what I had going on that day. And it was tied to my Google Calendar. It'll answer questions, and it corrects you when sometimes I'll ask it, Alexa, how tall is the Sears Tower? It'll come back and say the Willis Tower is so tall. But a lot of times we're talking at home, and how does, what time does the store open? Alexa, what time does Walmart open? And the Walmart in Huntley opens at 7 o'clock, whatever it is. And I've tried a number of different things, rookies, and it knows where you are. And it's just, okay, rookies on whatever drive it is, opens at whatever at the time. So it's really handy if you know what kinds of things you can do with it and use it. People are afraid of it because they think, well, it's listening all the time, and it has to because it has to hear its name. And you can change the name because it's annoying sometimes because you hear on TV people say Alexa, or I'll be watching YouTube videos where they're doing different things with Alexa, and they're constantly saying Alexa, Alexa, and mine is waking up and saying things. And no, stop. So you can change the name. I have one that's called Ziggy. So and it's right next to Alexa. So if I say Alexa, that one answers. If I say Ziggy, that one answers. It's a different voice. It's a male voice versus female voice. Now, Aqara is what I've been using. I've been buying a lot of their devices. They have Aqara smart hubs, which one of them that I just got is really cool. It's a camera that I can control from my phone, and it's like a base with like the camera head like on top, and they come with a cute little thing that fits on. It's got like cat ears or something. So I don't know. It's kind of silly, but it's cute. And that thing will rotate 360 degrees. And you can have set points so that it will, we tell it, okay, show me the living room. And just stop and you can see the living room. Show me the dining room. And turn, you can see the dining room. Now, with automation, you have motion sensors, and I have door and window sensors. If somebody opens the garage door, Alexa says, the garage entry door has opened. My wife likes that because it kind of gives her a heads up that, okay, somebody came in the door. It's usually me. But she gets scared easily. But if the garage entry door opens, you can have the camera turn to point at the doorway where I would be coming through, and then it will follow me as I'm walking around. as long as they can see me. So that's a cute little camera, but that's also a Zigbee hub, which I don't know if I want to get into. Zigbee is a different way of communicating. A lot of the devices are on Wi-Fi. But with 100 devices, that ties up a lot of my Wi-Fi from my other devices that I'm using computers. So the, is it on? Is it on? No. Okay. So Zigbee communicates aside from the Wi-Fi. So all that traffic is taken off of my Wi-Fi. So it's more efficient and it's more reliable because I don't get the interference from Wi-Fi. Anyway, that's smart hubs. There's a few different smart hubs from Aqara that I've got. There's one that's in the hallway that has a light on it. There's a motion sensor. So, and the hallway is usually kind of dark. So when anybody walks by the hallway or walks in the hallway, the motion sensor senses motion and it turns on that little second night light. And you can see it gives you some light. And it's not a lot. It's just temperature and humidity. Like I said, I've got temperature and humidity sensors everywhere. I can put one outside on the front porch. They're indoor, but I put it in a sheltered area, so far it's surviving. Mini switch. You can put switches where there wasn't one. It's just a little push button thing, that little square thing that you tie into this. And you say, okay, if I push that button, turn on the driveway lights, the outdoor lights. So I had to change the switch that controls the outdoor lights to a controllable switch, but then I put that little push button in the garage. Because like this time of year when I'm out there shoveling snow, it's getting dark, and I want the light on, I don't want to have to go walking through the house in my boots and from the foyer and push the button. So I put this switch in the garage, and I can push that and turn on the outside lights. Smart plugs, you can control things that are just plug-in devices. You know, if you didn't buy a smart bulb for your lamp, you could just take the lamp and plug it into a smart plug it in the wall. Now that device you plugged in is controllable, and that'll turn the lamp on and off. I wish I could have remembered to bring it back because I had some of these things. They're just small plug-in devices, and you just plug it in, plug the lamp into that, and now you can control that lamp or coffee pot or whatever. Now there's some coffee pots that you have to push the button to turn it on and push the button to turn it off. Those don't work so well, but there's a company that came out with something that will get around that. It's called SwitchBot. It's a little finger presser. So when you tell it to turn on the coffee pot, the little thing just you just stick it on the coffee pot, and this little finger-like thing just boom, pushes the button and releases it. So yeah, water leak sensors. It's a little puck. You just put it on under your kitchen sink, put it by your washing machine, put it by a sump pump, and if something's leaking, you can have it trigger some kind of alert. Keyless door locks. I'm not into keyless door locks. I think it's too easy for somebody to hack something. I don't want something like that. LED strip lighting. You can control all these LED strip lights. Door and window sensors. I've got them on a lot of places. Presence sensor is a very sophisticated motion sensor. I use motion sensors and discovered that if you're sitting reading, there's no motion and the lights go off. So I'd have to, and then the lights would go back on. A presence sensor is so sensitive, it can even sense you breathing. It's millimeter wave, radio waves, and they have some that can sense where you are in a room. Like if you got your living room and dining room, and this thing can see both, you can have it, okay, if I'm in the living room, it can turn on your living room lights, or in the dining room, it can turn on your dining room lights. It's that sophisticated. Motion and light sensor. I say these motion sensors are just little tiny things. And They're also light sensors, so it'll measure the amount of light in the area. So you can use the light level to turn things on, or motion to turn things on. Security cameras, security cameras around, smart light switches. Like I said, replacing the wall switch with a smart switch so you can control that. Curtain motor, these are kind of cute. If you have curtains that are on a curtain rod, this thing just hooks on there, and it's motorized, and you get two of them, and you just tell it to open the curtains, and this motors just go apart like that, and they just push the curtains, or they'll pull the curtains. Pet feeder. Okay, this is going pretty far. It's just a little device that you can tell it, okay, at 9 o'clock in the morning, dispense this much dry pet food. And there's a little dish there, and just dumps that food in there. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but resources, you can search Amazon for Aqara Zigbee HomeKit. You can look on YouTube, and there's a few YouTube channels, Everything Smart Home. That guy is, I forget where he's at, England or, but he is very knowledgeable. Well, all these Smart Home Solver, he's doing some really cool things with home automation. Hibbert Home Tech, well, I got question marks there because he gets a little crazy at times, but he's got a lot of good information. You can search the internet for home automation. A couple places that I've used artificial intelligence, something like some of the AI searches, and a lot of times PCGuide.com and TomsGuide.com came up with results from my AI searches. Oh, that was supposed to be taken out. And I thought that was going to be the end of the presentation, but I guess Shelley's not next. So I don't know if you want to wait until the end to take questions, or take any questions now. At the end? Okay. All right, that's all I have. So please, if you're at all interested in any of this, come to the lab. And if I don't have the time to do it, then we can set up a time when we can talk about it. I'm really thrilled with it, and I think a lot of people could use it.
Okay, thanks, Ken. And yeah, you don't have to start, with all of these things at once. You can start off easy with a smart bulb in your lamp. You can add a smart thermostat, a Ring doorbell. Just do one thing at a time. Eventually, you'll have a pretty smart home. So I'm going to talk about some of the new things that are coming out now that you can add to your smart home. Actually, this week in Las Vegas, they're having the Consumer Electronics Show they have every year. So they have actually introduced a lot of new items this year. So let's talk about some of these.
This?
Yeah.
It's on.
So robot vacuums. We've had these out for quite a while. There's all kinds of different robot vacuums. These are these little round things that'll go under your bed, or you can map out your room and it'll go and clean your room. There's the iRobot Roomba. Shark makes these. You can get these right now at Walmart or Best Buy or anywhere. The new thing with robot vacuums is instead of just cleaning, now you can actually get them to empty. There's a container, you can kind of see the tube that runs from the vacuum to the receptacle, and it'll empty itself. And this one, you can actually have it emptying for 60 days, up to 60 days, depending how much dirt you have in there that it has to clean. But if you're going away for a week or two, this thing could be working and you could be monitoring it on your smartphone while you're in Arizona or somewhere, and it's cleaning.
That's what I'm like.
And one of the other things that they're doing now is also combining these with smart mops. So in addition to vacuuming, you can also mop your floors. So you go in the kitchen, it'll vacuum it and it'll mop it for you. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is touchscreen refrigerators. All of your kitchen appliances are starting to become smart now. You have all of these different options. So a smart appliance is basically a Wi-Fi connected appliance that will connect with the smart hub that you can control through your phone or with a smart hub device. So you can then ask Google or Siri or whoever you're working with. And Matter is basically just a combination where you can actually talk to, instead of having devices that are strictly working with Google or Alexa or Siri, these will work with any of them. So what you can do now with these touchscreen refrigerators is it actually has right built into the front of the refrigerator. You don't just have an ice maker, you now have a display screen, and it'll keep inventory of what you have in the refrigerator, which means that if you're at the grocery store and you're shopping and you don't remember whether you needed milk or not, you can open up your phone and see the inside of your refrigerator, because there's a camera on the inside of the refrigerator, and it'll show on that screen. You can also use it to look up recipes, so while you're cooking, the recipes can show in the front of the refrigerator. So you can create the grocery list. You can actually monitor the expiration date. So you've got some milk in there that's expiring in a week, and you can keep track of that. So it can be quite handy.
How do you keep track of the expiration?
You have to enter it.
Yeah, you'll scan it. But there's also a camera in there too. So depending on whether how you have the camera aimed, you may not be able to read it too clearly, but at least you can see whether do I really have milk in there or do I not have milk in there. So another appliance is a voice controlled microwave. So you can monitor what's going on with the microwave. You had to go run down the street, and meanwhile you left your microwave cooking, and you want to make sure it's not boiling over. Well, you can check it from down the street or wherever you might be. Here's something unique. This is a smart toilet cleaner. What this is basically doing is it's pumping electrolyzed water into the toilet, which cleans it. And in addition to that, it's even monitoring your water usage. So keep track of how much water you're actually using for flushes on the toilet. But it's a smart toilet cleaner. So now on your smart hub, you can actually see your toilet.
Is it actually watering the plant too?
Here's another new item, something called a smart shower. So you can use your voice or your phone, and before you get in the shower, you want to make sure it's not going to be too hot or too cold. So you can have it adjust the water temperature for you for your shower or your bath, and it'll adjust the temperature of the water. And then you can get in, and you know you're not going to get scalded or freeze. This one is made by Moen. I'm sure there'll be some others out there as well. Yeah, Ken was talking about smart hubs where you can monitor all of these things. This is actually a unit that's, it's a mini, it's a smart home controller, but it's actually made out of wood. It will display all of the appliances, and you can kind of touch the device or appliance on there, and it'll then show you what, what, you can control it right from there, so it'll show you your thermostat or your doorbell or whatever. Here's something interesting. This one is made by Withings, and it's called the BMO multi-scope device. It's actually, this is a medical device, and it's an all-in-one. It's got a thermometer, so it'll check your temperature. You can do an ECG, electrocardiogram. It actually has a stethoscope built in, so you can measure not only your blood oxygenation, but you can see your temperature, you can see all of these things, you can get all these statistics, and it'll even forward the results to your doctor. So you can have it on maintain a chart of your blood and your oxygen and your heart. And if you get the doctor on the phone, use this device, the doctor can actually listen to your heart because it's got the stethoscope built right into it. Ken was talking about pet feeders. This is another device for your pet. This is a smart collar that you can put around your dog or your cat. And what this has is it's kind of like a smartwatch for your dog. It's got a GPS, so if he wanders away, you can always know where he is. You can track him with this thing. It'll also, just like a Google Fit or one of these other smartwatches, if you're getting enough exercise, so you can monitor, it'll monitor all of those things. And these things are not all that expensive. This one is about $99, I think, is what the list price is. The only thing is, for doing some of the functions on there, they do want you to subscribe. So they're going to have a continual subscription. I believe it's $8 a month is what they're asking for. Okay, artificial reality glasses. We talked a couple of months ago about the Apple Vision Pro artificial reality headset, which incidentally is coming out next month. But that's quite expensive. It's like $3,500, I believe, is the list price on that. This one is similar. It may not be quite as jazzy as the Apple version, but it's going to be $699, which is a lot less expensive. It'll let you do virtual reality games. It's not a standalone thing. You need to use it with your smartphone. So this one does require a smartphone, but it's a lot less expensive. And this is supposed to be coming out in March. And if you want something a little bit less expensive, over in the right-hand corner, the gal there is wearing these glasses, which are called Activision M1s. They're made by Asus, and they're not AR. What it is it's actually a display screen. So she's putting on the glasses. The glasses is actually a wearable display screen. So it's like a wearable monitor. And you can watch a movie, you can play a video game. It's all right there on the glasses itself.
The glasses work with your phone?
It's designed to work with a computer. It's possible that it could work with a phone as well, I'm not sure. But it is designed to work with a computer. And talking about glasses, some of them may have transition lenses. where the tint will change if you go outside in the sun. Well, now they've come out with tint adjustable glasses. So they're kind of like the transition lenses, but these are electronic adjusting. So you can use your smartphone. It's an app on your phone. It'll change the tint of your glasses. You can also do it manually. So it'll have a little knob or something, I think that's in there, and you can adjust it right on the glasses itself, or you can also just let it automatically adjust. Okay, door locks, they're getting really sophisticated now. And now the new ones are coming out with facial recognition. They have some that are working with fingerprints where you just touch it and open the door. Now they've got new one coming out with facial recognition. These are supposed to be quite accurate, but they're also very expensive. This one, I believe, is supposed to be $350. It's supposed to be out in June. If the facial recognition is not working, it also incorporates the older technology, so you can still use your fingerprints to open the door as well. And these are compatible with Matter that Ken was talking about. It's compatible with Apple Home. It'll integrate with your iPhone. So you can, if you want to open the door, you can just tap your iPhone or your smartwatch and just say, Siri, open my door. And the other thing it'll do is, if you can look at your phone, it'll have a camera on here as well. So just like on a Ring doorbell, you can tell if somebody's at your door. And here again, this one is made by a company called Lockley, but there are others as well. Yale is supposed to be coming out with one of these as well. Okay, now we get into the robots. LG has a new artificial intelligence robot. It's basically an AI assistant. It'll monitor your house. So this is like a walking smart hub. And it's got two cute little wheel legs on there. It's about 1 foot tall, so these things are pretty small. They can walk around your house. They can monitor what's going on in your house. If there's an intruder in your house, it'll find the intruder and let you know there's somebody in the house here. It'll learn your moods, so it can tell whether or not you're happy or sad. When you enter the house, it'll come to the door. It will greet you at the door and say, "Welcome home." It'll look at you and it'll say, "You don't look too happy. Here's a joke. It'll tell you a joke to cheer you up." It'll play your favorite song. And while you're not home, it'll go from room to room, and it'll check to make sure that the lights are the way they're supposed to be. If the light shoot doesn't need to be on, it'll turn off the lights. So they can do all sorts of things. It's kind of a smart hub on wheels. This thing is walking around your house doing whatever you tell it to do. And yeah, you may want to tell it to remind you to take your medication. So it'll say it's time to take your pills. It'll also follow your dog around. So if you have a dog or a cat, you can let this monitor your pet. And it'll notify you if your pet gets into trouble. It'll send a notification. Uh-oh, there's a little problem here. So you can actually use this as a pet sitter. So they don't have a price yet for this thing. It's coming out pretty soon. They had an earlier version of this last year, which was going for like $400. So this might be something in a similar price range. We're not sure yet. But it'll definitely be affordable. So you can have your own little robot. So this goes a little bit beyond the smart bulbs that you're putting into your lamps or the Ring doorbells. Okay, and I think now we can go to questions with both Ken's and mine. So we'll take questions. There is a microphone in the center of the room, so you can go up to that microphone, or you can.
You can talk into that.
Yeah, that's fine. So just raise your hand if you got a question.
Ken?
Yeah.
You talked about the,
It's on.
Yeah, just hold it closer.
have to talk louder. You talked about a presence sensor. We have people in our neighborhood that need to be looked in on. That presence sensor could be used to check on people.
Well, yes. And one of the functions of that, some of the presence sensors, there's one that, right now, if you mount it on the ceiling pointing down, it's actually a fall detector as well. But there's other ways of doing presence. If the person is home, they're probably gonna be moving about a little bit. And you can have motion, regular motion sensors, which are about $20. In a couple of places, so you know, okay, they were in the living room, they're in the kitchen, so there's somebody moving about in that house. So you can tell some with that too. The presence detector is a more sophisticated one. Yeah, they can tell the person is breathing. So, I don't know. I guess, I don't know the cost of the presence detector. They're probably close to $80 or something.
How often do you have to recharge all this stuff that you mount, like your mailbox detector and motion sensors and all that other stuff?
That's a good question. The mailbox, it uses very little. It's got 2 AAA batteries in it on the mailbox door. And yeah, they lose some power when it gets really cold out, but it's been maybe a couple of years and I haven't changed batteries in it. So, and other things like the little door and window sensors, those will last about a year on a button battery. Some of them, I forget which one it was, last 2 years on a little button battery. So these things used to, especially what I was talking about, the Aqara, that's a Zigbee system where how they communicate. That uses a lot less power. The Wi-Fi devices, they tend to use more power. Wi-Fi takes more power to transmit. And so those won't last as long. So you have to be changing batteries more often with the Wi-Fi devices.
Yeah. And with doorbell cameras, you can get those both wired or by battery. So if you have a wired version, it never needs to be charged.
Ken, going to mention that the plugs work fine. You just plug them in. If you're going to put in a wall switch on ours, many of our wall switches in our houses are simple switch legs, and you have to pull a clean neutral. So you should be aware of the fact that you may have to open the box, open another box, pull a clean neutral down and bring it up to that box because they require a 3-wire hookup.
Not necessarily. It depends on the devices that you purchase. Now, the Aqara system that I talked about, that's what I'm using, you can buy different switches. Some of them require a neutral wire, some of them do not require a neutral wire. The ones that do not require a neutral wire are usually about $5 more. What I have noticed is, and I've done a lot of stuff, obviously, in my house, there's always been a neutral in every switch box that I've been in. Now, it seems like, well, and the code changed, I think in 2002, 2003. where it requires a neutral in every box. Now, a lot of the Del Webb homes don't have a neutral in every box, and I've helped with some people in Del Webb homes, and one case, I'm not an electrician, so I didn't do it. They had them get someone to run a neutral from an outlet up the wall into that box, so I could put in back then there was a switch that required a neutral to operate their outside lights. But yes, that's a concern, and if you don't have a neutral in the box, then you can buy the switches that don't require a neutral. And I know that's a lot of electrical complexity, but it's one of the issues that you can run into with some of this stuff.
Again, I have a question. In order to create the smart home you presented, what would be the cost of all the hardware? Assuming you can do it yourself.
Okay, well, it depends on how much you want to do.
I mean,
I mean, if you want,
anything you presented.
if you want to start out, you get a hub, and the hub, I'm trying to remember now. They vary in price from maybe $50 for the hub to, well, a hub with a camera was maybe $100, 100, maybe 130 or so. And then a lot of the devices, like if you want a door and window sensor, those I've been paying about $20, $22, somewhere in there for those. If I want to change a wall switch, those can vary. No, I just go on Amazon and I just click buy and I didn't pay attention. Maybe $30 for a wall switch.
You got to Alexa on the system and stuff like that.
Alexa, now you can get Alexa Echo Dot that you can use to control things. And those are $40, I think, for the Echo Dot without a clock.
$1,000 will cover.
Oh, $1,000 is way, yeah, you can do a lot with $1,000. A few $100, you can do a lot. Controlling some lights and, yeah.
The more expensive is showers. Showers got to sell more expensive, right? That's the big money.
Yeah, and you actually don't even have to start off with a smart hub. You can actually use your phone. If you have a smartphone as a smart hub or your tablet. So, I mean, if you just want to start off with a smart bulb and a smart thermostat, you can do it easily with just a phone.
Ken, I don't think you mentioned a smart thermostat. People that go to Arizona want to check the temperature in their house. You could even change the temperature in your house with a smart thermostat.
Yeah, and yeah, Alexa, there's different skills, and all of them. Google Smart Home, the Apple HomeKit. I haven't looked at an Apple HomeKit, and I haven't looked at my Google Smart Home very much. I use the Alexa. There are different skills that you can incorporate into Alexa. You just go through a list and say, okay, my Honeywell thermostat, yeah, I want to add the skill for that. And now Alexa can talk to that thermostat. So you can just sit there and say, raise the temperature 2 degrees, and it'll do it. Or you can say, set the temperature to 68 degrees, and it'll do it. So you can use that voice assistant to control your thermostat by adding that skill to the Alexa app.
But you can't do that remotely from Arizona.
You can do that from anywhere in the world. I can get on my phone here, and I can change my thermostat. I can turn lights on and off. I can control everything in my house. I can look and see how much ink is in my printer. Now I got a full-blown automation system that runs on a little Raspberry Pi computer, and that's got its own operating system, and it'll do a lot more than I talked about. I don't want to say too much. about that to everybody here. But Ken's got the microphone on there.
Hi, thank you very much. That was a great presentation. Let me mention two things. One was that a couple people around us mentioned, boy, this is really expensive. And I asked them, how much is a trip to the hospital worth to you? I run up $1,000 bills easy whenever I trip or something like that. Thank God I haven't done that much. But it's really expensive. And here you have the capability of having somebody monitor your whereas a relative or so monitor if there is a problem. And secondly, Ken has a lot of fancy and very high technical things, but Mary uses Alexa. Change the temperature on the thermostat, Ring doorbell. I've heard a presentation here maybe 2 years ago where somebody saved a lot of money because the would-be thief came to their home to steal something right here in Sun City. And they found, they've got a ring, and they got out of there quick. We still got pictures of them that went right to the police. So, what's that worth to you? So if somebody says, well, it's $1,000, think about how much it costs for one medical emergency.
Well, with the around mission system like that, you can take and you can incorporate the Ring doorbell. You can incorporate other lights. And one thing that concerned me is we have a full screen door. In the summertime, sometimes we'll leave the door open to get some fresh air. And in the evening, we'll be watching TV, and sometimes we fall asleep. And the front door is open with this just fiberglass screen between us and the outside world. And anybody can walk over the pocket knife and zip and walk right in. And so that always concerned me. So now, if somebody gets within range of my Ring doorbell, it'll turn on all the outside lights, and it'll tell me there's motion detected at the front door. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. It's almost, you can make your own security system out of it. You can have it. I've got it. I can monitor the battery level on my wife's phone because she always forgets to charge it. And when it gets to 30%, it'll send me a text message. It'll send her a text message. She doesn't see it. And if she's home, Alexa will announce in the house, Karen, charge your phone. And if she does plug it in when it's fully charged, it'll say, Karen, your phone is charged. So there's a lot. Now, that's part of this advanced home automation system that I use. But some of that stuff you can do with Alexa. And Alexa is getting better and better, and all of them, Alexa, Google Home, HomeKit, they're all getting better and better as time goes on. One thing that I've switched to a car because it's not Wi-Fi. The hub is Wi-Fi to the rest of the system, but the more things you put on Wi-Fi, the more it's going to bog down your Wi-Fi system. And like I said before, battery Wi-Fi devices use a lot more power, so you change batteries more often. So there's advantages. I'm not sure what Matter is going to do as far as devices. Well, a lot of devices that are Zigbee devices on the Akara are also Matter devices, so they seem to be pretty close in capabilities. So,
really quickly, you have an amazing, curious mind. Fall protection, Apple Watch.
yeah,
You briefly mentioned Raspberry Pi.
yeah.
They don't know what you're talking about. I would love to see it have a class just in that because it explains the very basics of computerization.
Yeah, on the Raspberry Pi?
Raspberry Pi, it's basic coding. Did you ever get a little tiny kit?
Oh, I've got about 5 Raspberry Pis, and I've got one of them
They
that's
don't know
built
what
into
that is.
the Raspberry Pi keyboard. Well, and I had one in the bag, and I've shown it before at a previous meeting. Raspberry, it's just a single board computer. It's about the size of a pack of cigarettes, if people remember that. And it's got USB ports. It's got a network connection. It's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth, it's got HDMI to plug it into a TV, and it's got everything. So, yeah, there's a lot to it for, well, what was it? Now they're less than $100 for this little computer. And some, I've heard you can run Windows on it, but not very well.
You can code on it.
Oh, yeah.
I gave one to my 7-year-old grandson.
So
Any other
Ken, I'll
questions?
be a little facetious. How much do you charge to come to a home and do automation?
You know, there was a time when they retired, I've been retired for 24 years. There was a time that I thought, yeah, I can start a business. And this is back before all this automation stuff. I was using X10 that sent signals through the house wiring to turn things on and off. People would like this. I can maybe make a business out of this, but that sounded like work.
Well, we thank both of you for the presentation. Have a good day, everyone.